When the Africa Continental Free Trade Area came into force a couple of years back, there was a lot of excitement. And the excitement was because of the perceived increased volume of goods and services that are going to be traded across African territories. But the truth is, there are a number of business people that have no clue on how to play across borders. And in this segment, we pick the minds of some of the pundits in this space to find out how you can benefit from one, the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, but then trading between the confines of Uganda. It is Money and Markets. I'm Charles Ward, your host.
The East Africa Women in Business platform was established to enhance women economic empowerment in the EAC region. It is formed and withdraws its mandate from Article 121, 122 of the EAC Treaty. Yes, so that is all about women economic empowerment. So we do capacity building to women, we do business-to-business linkages, we do take women to different trade fairs. Like recently, we have women that were participating in the Inter-Africa Trade Fair in Egypt. Now we have capacity building workshops under AFCFTA, the Africa Continental Free Trade Area, that will be carried out in 6 partner states within the EAC. We realize there is a gap. Most of the women cross-border traders do not understand what the Africa Continental Free Trade Area Agreement is and what are the opportunities that are offered under the agreement. So we thought there is a need of doing sensitization workshops, just as we have been doing sensitization workshops about the EAC region, cross-border trade within the EAC region. What are the initiatives existing that are set by the EAC Secretariat to facilitate trade within cross-borders for women? Most of the women cross-border traders are trading in small scale. So there are specific initiatives that are set by the EAC, by the FCFTA, to sort of facilitate a movement of these small-scale traders within the borders. So most of the women do not know. There is a knowledge gap on this information, so we thought there is a need of doing the sensitization workshops. Now that we are not looking at EAC only, we are looking at the African market at large. Thank you. The intra-Africa trade within the EAC is very low. But now that we are creating a bigger market, if we facilitate the women, and the biggest percentage of cross-border traders is women, though they are at a small scale. We are looking at growing economies of scales, improving in economic situations like conditions of women, economic empowerment of women. And as when you empower the women, you empower the society. So we expect that to have a ripple impact across the society from the grassroots level. So that's sort of create opportunities for small-scale traders to grow, to have more factories whereby people will be employed, to have a bigger market where people will be able to sell their products across the African continent. So in that way, the economies of scale will grow, the intra-Africa trade will improve, will grow, as we expect that gradually the trade barriers, the taxes will be reduced in a period of 10 plus years. So business will sort of grow that way gradually, as we expect trade barriers to be removed. I can just give you an example. We have concluded border visits in 3 OSBPs, that is Namanga, Busia, and Malabra. There are some challenges that are cross-cutting, but there are unique challenges in each border. So after these border visits, we developed a matrix that highlights all the different challenges that are faced by women in cross-border trade. And these challenges have been taken to the EAC Secretariat, the Trade and Customs Department, for them to sort of work on the recommendations that have been given by the cross-border trade at the ministerial level, because they sit at the Council of Ministers meeting, whereby they develop, in their report, they develop and present the challenges and recommendations that will facilitate the cross-border trade. We have done capacity building in branding, packaging, and certification. That was on Moringa value chain. And we have had the Moringa Association of Uganda being formed as a result of that project. We have seen the women in Moringa value chain grow. They have been able to interact with their counterparts in Kenya, in Kenya and Tanzania, and now they are trading. We have also supported the Shea Butter project that is in Gago, whereby it was supported by the EAF, Enhanced Integrated Fund, that is supported by the UNOPS in Geneva. We have managed to build capacity of around 9,400 women in good manufacturing practices, post-handling of nuts. Now we have a facility that is being set in Agago to sort of like help the women from the grassroots level. For those who are able, farmers, to take their products, sell it to the cooperative, they earn something from the grassroots. From the processors, they can take the nuts, process, package, and then sell it to the international markets. Because the facility, we have an equipment from Germany that sort of like processes the shea to the required international standards. That means we are moving from the traditional way of extracting the shea nut to the modern ways that sort of like conserve the medicinal value of the Nilotica shea that is available only in the world, in northern Uganda and South Sudan. So we have done that, and of course we have worked closely with the Ministry of Trade and the Uganda National Bureau of Standards, and we have agreed on common areas of interest where we're going to like make sure that the success of this facility is there, because now it's the beginning. The facility has been established, but then we need to foresee and make sure it works. And then that does not mean we can work alone as private sector, as the cooperative, as IWIP. We need to join hands with the government. That means the government ministries, the Bureau of Standards. Yes, because we are looking into like, now the facility is there, they need to be certified. The shea that is going to be produced under the cooperative needs to be certified by the UNBS for them to be able to trade within the country and outside. I think it's important for the private sector to engage with the government, for us to be able to sort of like work on the trade barriers that are limiting the women from doing trade within our borders. So I will urge us to join hands together with the government for us to make sure that this thing, instead of like being it in writing about FCFTA, about the EAC regional trade, we make it work.
We will take a very short commercial break. Money and Markets continues after this break.